So, are you a Super Bowl halftime fan? Or did you happen to see the new Happy Gilmore 2? This person was part of both. I watched the halftime and it was amazing. What a production. Oh my gosh. Let's see the numerology for Bad Bunny. What a man. So, guys, I made us a chart and I'll show you that. But before I do, I want to tell you all to go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you think there's somebody that you know that might be interested in numerology, forward this video to them. They might like it. So, hi, I'm Lori from Numerology with Lori. Again, I would like for you to like and subscribe and click the bell icon to all. This way, YouTube doesn't get to share or to tell you what videos to watch. So, and also, if you would like me to do a numerology reading similar to what I'm doing here, but celebrities are a little bit different than the personal consultations are a lot more personal and a lot more involved. So feel free to reach out to Lori, intuitivenumerologist.com, and reach out to me, and I'll be happy to schedule some time with you. I do have some time open at the end of this month. So, with that said, I will share with you what I found for Bad Bunny. His birth certificate name was Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio. How about that? And as we know, he's from Puerto Rico. So I looked up each letter. I circled the vowels with a an opposing color just so that you would know which one were used for vowels. And then you can see we have his destiny number, his soul number, his personality number listed here. I also included Bad Bunny so that we could talk about the numbers that I calculated for Bad Bunny because it's just interesting to me that a lot of people do not know his full name. They do not know that he's Benito. They only know him as Bad Bunny. So this has to have an influence in his name, in his life. So interestingly enough, I have all the letters listed here, and the 7 and the 22 or 4 adds up to an 11. That's a master number. It's about creative spirituality. Wow. Or spiritual creativity, however you want to look at it. It doesn't really matter. But the fact of the matter is, how true. Wow. Anyway, so you can see where we have his birth date right here. So it's 3/10/1994. And then we have the pinnacles and challenges listed here and his maturity number listed here, which is the addition of his destiny number plus his life path number. Yep. So hopefully that works for you guys. Oh, if you would like to take a screenshot, feel free to do that. This gives you everything that you're going to need. Yep. So thank you very much. Okay, so we've talked about, oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at something else because I was borrowing from Peter to pay Paul here. So let's take a look at his destiny number. Bad Bunny, his destiny number is a 6. So let's take a look at that real quick. You can see that the destiny number is actually a 33/6. Wow. So I think you can see that it's a 33. So as we know, the 33 is a master number. He's got master numbers all over the place. And when you start to look at the life that he is leading, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, think about the halftime and think about all of the people that he included. There's probably so many that we're unaware of. Think about the music and how it not only does it apply to the Spanish people all over the world, but it applies to people who absolutely adore him from this country who do not speak Spanish. nor do they understand, but music is a universal language. Yeah. So, okay, so let's take a look. The master number 33 is a master of healing energies through love. That says a lot right there. There's tons of power and energy here. He has the ability for fame, and we know he has it. He's highly creative and naturally leads others. Wow. So, Bad Bunny is a selfless giver. He doesn't ask anything in return, he just gives. Some say this is the highest consciousness that can be achieved. The 33-6. Yeah, think about that. The number of the Christos. And if you're spiritual at all, you understand that the Christos is it's considered the entity that Christ entered the world with. It's considered the entity that many of the other prophets entered the world with. Muhammad, the Buddha. It's interesting to think about. And here's Bad Bunny displaying some of the positive signs of this. We don't know. We don't know. I mean, he's a young man. He's 32 years old. So because he's got a sensitive nature and he's caring, he gets swept up in the stories of others. That's kind of normal to him. He's very empathic. He'll require balance to survive this empathy, and he learns to detach and focus on the higher goals of spiritual laws. That's big. This all came to me from researching the 33-6. So, and okay, he'll figure out that he can't solve all of human problems. He will figure that out. Balance and harmony are the key. He's a loving giver. That's really all that's necessary. That's all that's important. So, okay. So let's see what his soul number is. His soul number is karmic. So let's take a look at that real quick. We see the soul number is represented here in all of the black circles. So each vowel was circled that made up the soul. And then all of these names, each one, there are 4, and there are some that we've seen already that have this. So each of these numbers was added up, and we have a 16-7. And that's really interesting because the 16-7 is karmic. So let's take a look at what some of the research that we did. This is a love karma. Now we know this. It means that he did somebody dirty in love in a past life. And this time he's brought the debt forward in order that he could understand it and pay it back this time. This time. So, and again, I'm a firm believer in reincarnation. I don't know if you are too. Any way you would like to square that is fine with me. If you would like to think that maybe recently he did somebody dirty and he's learning to pay that back, that's a fine way of looking at it. It really is. But for the purposes of numerology, most numerologists believe in reincarnation. So my feeling is that he had this somewhere in a past life and he brought it forward and to repay it in this life. Now, what's interesting about that, and we'll talk about it, this is love karma. He did somebody dirty, yes, and he's carried the debt into this life. Bad Bunny seems to be following the mystic path of the 7. Yep. And we know that the seven can be about introverted behavior, it can be analysis, it can be research, but it also represents mysticism. It represents being spiritual. So this seems to be what he is doing. He is following the path of the mystic. So he's very instrumental in helping and serving the people around him and more. I mean, it's not just the people around him. It's people that have been sent to Bad Bunny and said, please help him out. He needs such and such, or her out. She needs such and such. And he says, yes. What an amazing person. He's only 32, but he seems very, very wise. It seems like his country's woes has pushed him to raise the bar and to help them, the people that live in Puerto Rico. And in my opinion, it doesn't matter what we've done. We can give to charities, and we can give to they had a hurricane, and we won't go into all of that, but we know Maria really, really made these people suffer. And yes, we helped out as much as we could, but Bad Bunny, that's his home, and he did a lot more. He's awakened to their plight, and which has given him insight into how to help these people. That's amazing. Yeah. So let's take a look at his personality number. The personality number, and we'll see it right here, added all the way across to an 8. So it's a 1, 7/8. So the 8 is his personality number. This is how other people see him, as a very powerful figure, because 8 is about power. I will say, okay, so I'm going to read instead of talking. So there is only some of his personality here. And that's very true. That's very true. Because as we've just seen, we've looked at his destiny, we've looked at his soul. We know that there's so much more that makes him up than just the 8, even though the 8 is an important number. So there's only, okay, people see him as business savvy, very powerful, competent, with success and great achievement happening. And that's very true. It's how I see him. Do you? Yeah. I mean, if you do nothing else, take a minute and look into Bad Bunny and see what he has achieved. Yeah. So let's take a look at his life path number. So the life path is, as we've talked about, created from the addition of all of the his birth date. So it's the 3 plus the 10 plus the 1994. And all of these numbers add across to the number 27, and 7 plus 2 equals 9. So he's got a life path number of 9. This is really fascinating. It's a pretty awesome number, and it can be a little bit difficult for him. He's dealing with loss is not an easy thing. And that's the thing about the 9. Sometimes it has to do with losing. Now, does his loss provide him something new to start with? Possibly, likely. It's also a number about endings. It's about finishing. It's about, which is good in his career, because it's like finishing a project. That's a 9 activity. Some of it is very benign. It's the idea of finishing up what he has going on, but some of it is bigger than that. And that's, we're going to hope that Bad Bunny just understands that the 9 that is his life path. And more than likely, Bad Bunny doesn't have any other way of looking at life. That's what he has. He has a nine. So, in his opinion, that's normal. It's very normal. So, okay, so he's a young person and we all go through losses. That's very true. He's here to learn from his losses by gaining compassion for himself and for others around him and in the bigger scale. Understanding and tolerance that there's some of the other things that he's learning besides compassion. He may have some mystical experiences, which it seems will just add to his creativity as he sees the beauty of life. And we've already talked about the possible mystical experiences that we can see him having with, oh my gosh, where is it? I'll get there. The number 33. Yeah, in that 33-6. So he's got mystical experiences happening all over the place, which I find to be very, very interesting. So let's take a look at his maturity number. So the maturity number is comes from adding the destiny number, which we have up here, which is the 33-6. I added the 6 just to make it simple. And I added it to the 9, which is his life path. Yes, his life path. So the maturity number adds to 15. 1 plus 5 equals 6. So the maturity number is a 6. That's interesting. So the typical explanation or definition of a 6 is family, love, marriage, maybe divorce. If you've been married, it's possible. It does put a focus on the relationships. Now, we've talked before about relationships of family. People who have 6s are very connected also to their fan base, which could be part of their 6 energy. That's why they're connected to their fan base. So this sort of tells me he's worked to overcome the karma of the 16-7 in his soul. And the reason is because if the 6 is up front and center, it means that he's dealt with the 16 that is on the inside, the 6 that is, oops, let's see if I can find it over here. The 6 that is on the inside of his soul number. The 1 plus 6 equals 7. But the 6 is a number that's harder to get to. We can tell by his maturity number that he understands it. Okay, so this is about family and love, but more importantly, it's about balance and harmony, balancing what he knows in his life. Because let's face it, if any of us stay on the same path for too long, we feel overwhelmed. We can experience burnout, and that's understandable. So, with Bad Bunny, what he's trying to do is to learn how to harmonize his day-to-day activity and to balance things out so that sometimes he's got music going on, sometimes he's helping people, sometimes he is just giving himself time to relax. Yeah. It's important to remember that family can be a large group. We just talked about this. That includes fans, and for him, it could include his country, especially if there's leadership included, which I feel like people from Puerto Rico do look at Bad Bunny as a leader. Now, he's not an elected official, obviously, but they look at him as a leader who can help them, help them figure things out, help them monetarily, maybe. He does donate quite a bit. Again, looking at that halftime show and looking at all the different things he did. I mean, he married a couple there, for goodness sakes. Yeah, he didn't do it, but he got them married and they were in the halftime show. That was amazing. That was amazing. He will love being loved, and he will love others based on simply the maturity number of the six. Yep, I feel really positive about that. Yeah. So we talked about his as his personality number. We talked about his maturity number. We talked about his life path. Okay, let me see where we are. I have three different papers here, and I'm sorry about that. This he has really taken up a lot of my time. Can you tell? Okay, so we're going to talk about his pinnacles. So first period is a four pinnacle, and the challenge is a two. This is interesting. He's working very hard under this pinnacle. Since it was his first one, that's a little bit tough to deal with for a child. But it was, well, luckily, it was only until he was 27. And the reason we know that is because his life path is a nine. Remember, we have his life path here. There it is. It's oh, the nine. Yep. So we took the life path nine and subtracted it from the number 36, which is what is given to us through numerology. Subtract everything for pinnacles from the number 36, and that's what you get for your first period. And then, yeah. So we know that this nine from or yes, nine from 36 is 27. So this lasted until he was about age 27. And Bad Bunny was a pretty serious child. Yeah, he really was. His parents likely had some financial hardship, which stands to reason. You know, that's not unusual for people. This would have affected him to work harder and to build a strong foundation. Yep. The second, the number two challenge asked him to find a balance in his quest for sensitivity and harmony with his people and himself. This is true. This can all be a bit difficult for a young person, and it can be because there's a lot being asked of him, a lot being asked of him for a young person. Did he enjoy some time with his friends? Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. And hopefully, these are things that he learned to work harder and to to deal with the two challenge as an older adult from 20 to 27, maybe 19, 18, I don't know. Okay, so his second pinnacle is current, and it's a number six. Interesting. Goes along with healing the karma of his soul number and getting right with his maturity number, which is coming forward. So, anyway, and the challenge is four. That's interesting. So, the six is about love, it's about family, marriage, and divorce. So, he hasn't been married. I don't think his parents got divorced. So, I'm not sure if that's really at play here. So, it's a number that speaks of responsibility for family and people you love. That's the bottom line. And we also know because he's got a destiny number of 33/6, this just amplifies that energy. It just makes him feel even more service oriented, love oriented. He's a good person. This can also, okay, we just talked about that. This also speaks about babies or having a baby. I don't necessarily see that for Bad Bunny because I don't see him in love with somebody. I don't. So I guess we'll see. Love may be a focus for Bad Bunny, but remember, family can be the people closest to him or the people he loves. his country. The four challenge can also be a difficult challenge. Bad Bunny he will need to stop his impatience, any kind of stubbornness, or any self-righteousness that he feels. That's part of what the four challenge can be about. Now, the good news is because he just experienced a four pinnacle, he already has the groundwork of a strong foundation. Yeah. So this is allowing him to find the help that he needs by the people that he supports here. And yeah, so we'll see. I feel like this challenge he'll understand because he just had a four pentacle. So fingers are crossed. My fingers are. I've got my other hand crossed too, but they're holding a paper. So Bad Bunny has a third pentacle of a one. Hmm. And a challenge of the two again. So he had it the first time and he's got it the third time. So let me show that to you real quick. Oops. There we go. So there's the two in the first, and there it is in the third. And lo and behold, it's the fourth as well, which means, and I'll tell you this then, he ends up with the two challenge. That's that's going to take him through his life. So, okay, so let's talk about um, let's see, we did that already. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Just making sure that I'm getting everything correctly. So he's being asked to be a leader. He really is. Learning about integrity, vision, courage, drive, and determination. Teachers are his friends now. And we looked at the two challenge before. But suffice it to say that harmony and balance are his way to learn. It's between the one. So the one is teaching him all kinds of new things. He's got vision. He's going to learn courage. He's going to learn drive. He's going to learn determination. All the people that come into his life, like I believe there is I want to say another musician and is a jazz singer that Bad Bunny became friendly with before he passed over. My guess, oh, I got chills. So I would venture to say that this was a teacher to him because he mourned his loss. He mourned his loss. That's very fascinating. And in all of that, with all of that going on, now he doesn't realize it yet, and it might make some sense to him. But the two challenge, because he's already done it once, he understands why it's happening or what's happening, so to speak. But it's harmony and balance that he needs to learn to to bring into his life. Let's say it that way. Okay, so the fourth pinnacle is an eight. Wow. Where the challenge is again that number two. The number eight speaks to the business world, becomes very important because Bad Bunny is destined for organization. He's destined to be an organization. Wow. It also speaks to his personal power. He he's learning to not give too much of himself because he doesn't want to burn out. He wants to give just what's necessary. So personal power becomes very important. Bad Bunny is destined for organization, responsibility, leadership, financial management, and financial efficiency. That's all with this eight pinnacle. Pretty amazing. So the two challenge. He's been there before. Again, when a number repeats like this, it's almost like you bring with you the lessons from the time before. So he's gotten a lot of it. So he's onward. He's onward. He continues to want to balance and create harmony in his life and in the lives of the people that he loves and cares for. So it feels like he's looking for balance and harmony. Yep, the good news is he'll learn from his previous lessons. We just talked about that, and we hope the lesson is easy. I do. I really hope that the lesson becomes easier and easier for him. Bad Bunny seems to have an important role for people, and he loves them, and he considers them family. So whether this is again his country or his fans or both, who knows? Many will rely on on his generosity and love, and we wish him great things. We wish him great things. Blessed be everybody. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye.